We're back. Someone asked you what flowers or vegetables can they grow that slugs won't eat?
There aren't many plants that the slug will not have a go at. There are many, many sorts of slugs. Some species prefer younger leaves, new fresh leaves.
Mhm.
Some do go for older leaves, but on the whole, the tougher the leaf, the less likely it is to get attacked by a slug. One range of plants are ferns. There are not many ferns that slugs like.
Oh.
They do like the thick, fleshy type,
Mhm.
not the ones that are split up into different parts. And um, on the whole, ferns have got a tough leaf.
Mhm.
It's not something that they can nibble at and enjoy.
Yep.
They haven't got teeth, and so they suck it, and they only suck the actual softer leaves.
Ah. So they also mentioned that their shallots this year had been eaten, and on previous years they weren't. Is that maybe because they're young leaves or something
Yes,
else?
it was possibly at a stage when they were fairly soft and young,
Mhm.
and it's also maybe the slugs are having to cope with more extreme climates. And so I say they like moisture. Their moisture levels that they've got available for them in certain parts of their lives is not good enough,
Mhm.
and they have to make sure they survive. So they would widen their range of things that they enjoy. Um, Slugs and snails tend to be night creatures.
Oh.
They only operate, their eating is mainly on a night, unless they can find a shady place where they can go and nibble at something in the daytime. That's unusual because it's in the summer, it gets too hot for them under the shady places.
So watering outside, not in at night, if it entices the slugs.
That's maybe a theory, but the plants need water.
Uh-huh.
The slugs know they need that, and therefore they choose leaves which will hold a bit of water for them to get their diet.
And what we've just done there is what we were discussing, how one question can
Leads
lead
to, and that is a problem with horticultural gardening, is that you answer a question, you give maybe two or three different answers,
Mhm.
and then that raises more questions, and so you never really get to the actual 100% answer for
Mhm.
any question. What I'm going to show you are a few things
Mhm.
that help check the movement of the slug.
Oh,
It doesn't actually kill it in lots of cases,
okay.
but things like sharp granite,
Mm.
which is a type of granite that's when crushed open, it always stays rough. And so the slugs don't like watering on it or walking on it.
Ah.
They won't crawl on it or whatever.
Mhm.
And therefore, they might pick a little bit of it up, and that makes it uncomfortable for them.
So something that's quite
So
tolerant to
it's
slugs.
so
Not
it,
tolerant.
it's not the slugs just don't like it,
Okay.
and therefore, for instance, if you took a plant like a hosta,
Mhm.
which they love because they're nice, juicy,
Yeah.
fresh leaves, and they obviously taste nice to that type of slug that attacks them. And if you surround it on the ground
Mhm.
with the sharp granite, put a layer of the granite on, they won't crawl to that plant. So it protects them.
Ah.
It's like a little barrier for them.
Oh, okay.
It's not 100%, but nothing's 100%. So therefore,
It's worth a go.
it's worth a try.
Yep.
And a lot of parks departments, they don't do it as much now because the technology and things has moved on. But um, sharp granite is certainly one thing they don't like, slugs. And if you sort of make a circle around whatever it is
Mm.
of say 4 or 5 inches or 25 centimeters, just to stop them crawling onto it.
Oh.
And they don't like crawling onto copper. And this is another way of controlling them and protecting them
Mhm.
in a different type of container. For instance, on this saucer, we might have a little fuchsia or something growing.
Mhm.
We put the water in the saucer to help
Grow.
grow it. The slugs don't like water particularly. They're not good swimmers.
Yep.
They will crawl in a thin layer of water, but not actually go in a depth.
Ah.
But you can also put this round the container,
Yeah.
and so the slug that comes in from the outside has to crawl over the copper, and that they won't do either
So it
for
stops
some reason.
before it's.
But so it stops them getting to the plant that you want to protect.
And could you put that around the pot, or does it
You
stop
could
them
put that.
before?
Yes, you could put it around the pot like that. That would be exactly the same idea.
Yeah.
You wouldn't normally do it because in a small pot.
Yeah.
Because this is not
Expensive.
well, it's a cost of money, and therefore, if you keep replacing it, then it's going to cost you money.
A copper fence.
Whereas if you've got a copper strip or something,
Yeah.
that you can either lay down or you can put around the container.
So if anyone's partner's a plumber, put some copper.
Copper down. I'm not sure whether this tape is special copper. I don't know. Well, this is special slug
Oh, okay.
tape.
Worth a go as well.
And the other thing about containers,
Yep.
and particularly snails,
Mm.
they're again night feeders, and sometimes they can crawl quite a long way in order to get a meal. And if they crawl up this container without the copper and decide that they're going to have a nibble of the plant in there, when it comes to the daytime, they think, oh, I'm not going to walk all the way home. And so they come and they live under there. And so if you get a container with this sort of, it's one place you will find
I
your
do find them a
snails.
lot actually there. Yeah.
That's quite a good way of catching them. So that is one place. If you go and look for your slugs and snails on a night, you can pick
slugs
them up.
would hide under there as well.
Slugs might do, but are less likely to, because it's a bit too big and abrasive for them.
Right.
However, they might go if you have an area where you've got slug plants that are vulnerable to slugs, and you put something like a little saucer, but put it that way up.
Yeah.
The slug gets underneath it. A small ground slug, for instance, will get underneath it and live under there. And in the daytime, particularly in the autumn and the spring. In the summer, it gets too hot, but in the autumn, so that's quite another way of attracting them.
So, Mike, you're telling us to become gardeners, but to catch animals.
Well, now I can tell you a worse story, which you probably will report me to the Protection of Slugs and Schools Society, which is that if you catch a few snails on slugs on a night, what do you do with them? You can always toss them over the fence into the neighbour's garden, because you don't like the way their plants say that they grow. Or you could cook them for supper, but they're not very tasty.
You tried them?
So no, I have not tried them. What I have done, though, is something that I am not 100% that it works, but I have it on very good authority that it does work.
Yeah.
And that is the slugs that you've collected. If you get a little tin or a bowl, and you put the slugs in this little tin and bowl, and you pour on some boiling water, they scream so loudly that any slug within 100 yards of that runs away, because it frightens them. And by boiling them, they don't like it.
Oh.
So that is very cruel to the slugs.
So boil your slugs and snails.
But don't eat them afterwards. And there is another thing that you can use a good system, which is making them alcoholic. Because if you get a little container like this,
I've heard these like beer traps.
Like a beer trap.
Yeah.
You put beer in the bottom of there. The slugs love a drink now and again. Get into there, get absolutely drunk and can't climb out, and so they drown in the
it's quite a bad thing.
So that's another way, but I suppose it's nicer than them being boiled to death.
Which way would you go, boiled or alcohol?
Absolutely. Either way. And so to answer the question a bit more as well, there are a few plants that they don't like as much.
Yeah.
But because of the range, the only way is to try it and see. And if you plant something out, it's a good thing to try it in an area, see whether on a night any slugs and things appear to eat it.
Mm.
And it's a good way of finding out what has made those holes in your leaves, because it might not be a slug or a snail. It may be another creature
Oh,
that's eaten
and
them.
then that's more pests to
That's a
tackle.
different
That's
pest.
another question.
Well, that's another question. And I'll give you one simple, quick answer to that. In the technology nowadays is producing these things, which actually cause sound, and it screams a certain sound that the slugs or the dog or the insects don't like. There are different settings on it for different types of. For a butterfly, for instance, different from a housefly would be different, and an aphid would be different
Would
still.
we hear these
But
sounds?
no, we don't hear the sounds.
Wow.
There is a one sound that's used for mice and rat control,
Yeah.
which our friend Honey would not like very much at all, because it affects the dogs.
Right.
But it is a sound that we don't hear. It's a very high-pitched sound. And so sound is another deterrent to a lot of creatures, including insects and rats and mice.
Really?
But you have to plug this in. There are lots of devices these days. You can get little battery things to plug it in. It doesn't use much power, and they do work. They're used in cafes and cooking restaurants and things to deter flies.
Oh, they work for flies as well.
So it works for flies. There's different creatures.
What about wasps?
I'm not sure about wasps. I haven't tried that, but I think there might well be some that would do that now,
Oh, I'll have a
because
look.
these are new coming out.
Yeah.
They're on the internet. So you can get them on the internet. There's all sorts of different sounds that different creatures don't like.